Because we are launching an entirely brand new series. Now, you know that coming up next week on Monday is our Transformational Learning System program. It's our key program. It's the program that we have highlighted for the last couple of years as we've been beta test running it, and it is official. It is going out to the marketplace, and we're launching it on Monday next week in Kearney, Nebraska. However, we're excited to be here today and share some things with you because we're coming out with an online program from Transformational Learning Systems called Sales Basics. Now, this came about because of some new customers that we were working with that were really unlearned in the sales space. They really didn't have any experience there. And one of the things that I noticed is how important it was to go back to the basics and go back to winning at sales and winning at the basics. So as I begin to think about that, though, this is important for all of us. See, champions are brilliant at the basics. And that's something that so often we take for granted, don't we? Especially in the sales space. So as we start learning from the TLS system, the Transformational Learning System, we want to remember how important the basics are. Okay, so we're going to look at those core basics right out of the gate. Now, a couple of things that I would point out, first and foremost, is nothing will work unless you do. Extremely important. There is no program out here, there is no basics, there's no complicated system that's going to work unless you do. See, there's a quote here that I use all the time. Selling is simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Do the hard work of keeping it simple. See, if we're doing the hard work of keeping sales simple, it's going to be enjoyable for our customers. It's going to be enjoyable for the people that we're working with. But it is not easy to keep it simple. Those are things that we have to learn how to do. It's the basics of selling that we have to learn to do. So, number one basic, and what we're going to cover in this session here today, is everyone sells. It's so simple. Everyone sells. See, every person on the planet is a salesperson. Every single person in the world is a salesperson. And that's something that is so misunderstood in the sales space today. And when I began to realize this back, 25 years ago, and I began to learn from some of my mentors that everybody's in sales, it began to truly change my life. And one of the biggest struggles that I had in the sales space was what we call prospecting. Today, in the world of the internet influence, I actually don't teach prospecting today because I think there's a better process. And we teach that in a lot more detail at the live event, the TLS Advantage live event. However, every single person is a salesperson. Why? Because everyone influences someone every single day. There's not a day that goes by, my friends, that you're not influencing someone. And that's what we all want to remember. We all want to remember that we are an influencer. And if we are, which I guarantee you are, if you're an influencer, it's going to happen every single day. See, let me give you an example. If you're a spouse, doesn't matter if you're the wife, if you're the husband, it doesn't matter. If you have a spouse, there's somebody there that you're going to influence. If you have children, there's somebody there that you influence. It might just be the doorman in your apartment. It might be, who knows, maybe it's somebody that you work with. It's a colleague. But you are working with somebody. You are spending time with somebody that you influence every single day. Your children, for example, how many times do you have to sell them on eating good, healthy food? You have to sell them on doing something that's good for them. Otherwise, they'll just want to do things that are not good for them. We have to sell them on good things. We have to sell them on things that are right for them. What about you and your boss or your team? Now, this might be, people say, influence my boss, are you serious? As a leader in an industry, I'm expecting that. I need that. I need people to influence me. I need to know who's going to be working with the frontline people, because the frontline people make the bottom line work. The frontline people make the bottom line work. I need people to influence me. So therefore, I need to hear what's going on. I've got to sort out the truth. I've got to sort out all this information. And that is influence. And a lot of people that we work with, they're in that position where they're going to influence me. They're going to influence you. They're going to influence someone else. Okay, you may be in a position where you have to influence your team. Maybe you're in a position of authority, but you're going to sell someone on a concept, or sell them on the goals, or sell them on the objectives for the quarter. We have to be able to sell to our team if we're in a leadership position. Just like we expect the team to sell us on what's going on in the front line, they need to be able to be, we need to be able to sell them on what's going on with the core objectives with the company, right? So there's a lot of things there. What about your friends and your family? Now, there's times with friends and family, maybe it's where we're going to go out to eat, or where we're going to do a certain event. We're going to host a certain event. We're going to, have this get together and this gathering. I remember when we were putting together our 20th reunion, and it was such a challenge, because this is not an area of giftedness for me, because I really don't know how to do all that stuff of pulling all this, all these events together. And I've always been able to rely on other people to do that. So I know when we started putting together the 20th reunion for our class, it wasn't a big deal, but somebody had to call, somebody had to start influencing the rest of us to make sure we were all there, right? And there was a process where, as friends, we all had to come together. The same way is true with our families, right? We want to be able to influence our families in a way that is positive for everybody in the outcome. So again, our ability to sell someone on an idea or a specific outcome is critical. And that's why we can honestly say every single person in the world sells. Now, there's also one other space that is very important to me, and that's the church and the nonprofit. And a lot of people don't think about the fact that we sell ideas in church. And I've always had people say, oh, we don't want to cross over business and church and this and that. If you can't cross over business and your faith and your life, guess what? You're just living one side or the other, and you're not true to yourself. You're not true to what you are. And I've seen that a whole lot in the leadership space. When you think about it this way, if you're on a church board and you're discussing what to do with the money and the funds that have come into an organization such as your church, you're going to be an influencer, because you have certain things that you want to, share your funds with. There's certain programs you want to support. There's certain people groups you want to be able to support and help, missionaries and things like that. And the same is true with a nonprofit. I know right here in Omaha, we have the group downtown, homeless shelter down there, does tremendous work and helps so many people. But they have directors, they have people who lead other people, and that's it. They oftentimes are selling their programs, and they will sell the idea of giving money to the homeless shelter or giving time to the homeless shelter. See, a lot of times what they're selling is a request for time, a request for someone to come and serve with them. And that, my friends, is extremely important to those type of organizations. So we can't take that lightly. If we're going to be really, really good at asking people to come and be a part of our nonprofit, we have to be good at selling. So every single person in the world at some point in time is a salesperson. So sales basic number one is we all sell. Everyone is a salesperson. My friends, that is critical. Okay, that's what we have for you today. If you wouldn't mind, if you're watching this on Facebook, or if you're watching us on YouTube or Twitter, please go down, like us on Facebook, click that subscribe button in YouTube and follow us on Twitter. You're going to continue to get things like this more and more and more every single day, every single week. We're going to be bringing more things out to you. Okay, my friends, thank you again for investing some time with this. The next go around that we're going to talk about is why it's so important that we focus on sales skills, why it's important to you. So that'll be in our next session, my friends. So thank you. And until next time, God bless and make it awesome.